Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CNCF TAG Environmental Sustainability meeting about the Cloud Native Sustainability Week. We already had one of these meetings, so these are like two meetings today about the Cloud Native Sustainability Week. The first one was for the Asia APAC time zone, and the second one is now for a little bit later in the day for Europe, North America, all folks. So this meeting is just a discussion about the event, the Cloud Native Sustainability Week 2024. We already organized this last year. Last year was the first time we did it, and it was quite a big event. We have a couple of slides talking about those. And this year we would like to do it again, but we have no experience. We saw it, how it happened last year. Maybe there's like some ideas, some things that we would like to change. So we are starting this process early. So one note, I think everybody is probably already aware, but this event is a community event driven by volunteers. So there's an open source group, the TAG Environmental Sustainability. It's under the CNCF. There are actually a bunch of tags in the CNCF, which are kind of responsible for certain domains in the cloud native field. So there's, for example, tag app delivery, tag security, tag network, observability, and so on. And we are kind of a new tag created 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, about sustainability, environmental sustainability. And one of the big things that we are focusing on is advocacy, outreach, and just trying to connect people in the community and understanding where this field is going. And then also doing some extra stuff. So for example, having a working group for assessing the sustainability footprint of CNCF projects. But the Cloud Native Sustainability Week is one big part of the outreach kind of objective or mission. So if you would like to be part, join the tag in general. So we have a meeting right after this one, starting in about 50 minutes, just talking about the tag, if you would like to join. So a bunch of links. So if you would like to connect with the tag in general, these are good links to check out. You can also scan the QR code or use the link above to reach all those links. So primary communication channel is Slack. If you're in Slack and join the CNCF Slack and join the Tag Environmental Sustainability channel, you don't really miss out on any information because it's like our main communication channel. But also the website or GitHub are very good places just to connect. Yeah. So what is the Cloud Native Sustainability Week? So some of you already organized or were part of the of last year's event, so you're already aware. But for everybody who's just interested, so it's a community-driven event, as I said before. It's led by organizers, volunteering organizers, which are doing this besides the job. And usually, so the idea of the event is that we just talk about cloud native sustainability, not in Europe or North America or some heavy open source hotspots, so to say, but also like in all the other regions, because sustainability is a global matter and we would like to include as many communities and connect ideas, also talk to the companies. And there are quite different mindsets about this and also cultural backgrounds. So having like a global event is very interesting, or was like the idea. The problem with KubeCon is that not everybody can afford to go to such a expensive conference. And maybe they are just interested just to talk about their ideas about cloud native sustainability. So that was the idea of organizing a bunch of local meetups. And yeah, that's kind of the idea, talking about the mission and where the entire field is heading, the emerging tech field. So we have a couple of goals. So as I said before, one of our kind of objectives in the tag is to connect the community and to just foster projects that they grow, that they kind of also be part of the cloud native landscape and ecosystem, that there's like standards at some point, and so on and so forth. And communication is kind of the building block or like a requirement to collaborate together and kind of drive this forward. And that's kind of our goals are kind of aligned around those. So because this is like a global event and every local meetup organizer has like their own sort of chapter, the events also are quite different. So a little bit, some are doing like more close discussion groups, panel discussions. Some others are having like standard talks. But these are like the overall goals. How they are shaped out in the local meetups can be, there can be different flavors of it. But maybe we can also improve this year on some of those. So for example, I think project collaboration could be something that we can focus on a little bit more. And yeah, we will see. So last year, first time we organized this event, we already had over 22 in-person meetups with over 1,000 in-person attendees, and I think over 6,000 virtual attendees. We had a daily live stream on YouTube by Cube Simplify, daily blog posts on the CNCF blog and the tag blog, and also like a very minimal but virtual conference, so to say. But different kinds of events. You can also look up some of the recordings on YouTube. So we have a CNCF TAG YouTube channel where we just upload all of these meetings, but also some of these events. A very good overview is also on this website. So tag environmental-sustainability.cncf.io. We can also bring it up in a second. And there's a page under events. And then under events, there's Cloud Native Sustainability Week, which shows a lot of detail about the event last year. Right. So we have basically like two types of organizers. So we have like the global set of organizers who are trying to reach out to local communities, who are crafting templates and, I don't know, talking points about discussions and so on. So basically trying to make the job for local meetup organizers easy and trying to kind of have like a global theme, things like this. So these like the first part, and the second part are local meetup organizers who are actually the community group leaders in cities around the world. So usually maybe like some CNCF ambassadors who are already like at the community, but also anybody else who would like to organize an event. So for the global event organizers, there's actually a bunch of work, and I think the next slide, it just shows a couple of the issues. So we created a bunch of issues. Probably this year we will do it similar. So there's stuff about social media promotion. Last year we created a survey that speakers and organizers have badges, things like this. Also, in general, just to outline the event itself, writing like a guide up, all those sorts of things. Welcome slides. Maybe this year we will probably do a lot of similar stuff. So social media promotion will continue, but maybe also some new parts will be added. I don't know, maybe like a hackathon, or I don't know, like some idea we would like to try out. So last year we just focused on kind of having it simple. The idea itself is already challenging enough to have all those events and trying to facilitate all of this. But I think it went quite well, so we can extend on this if we like. So, and next to these global organizers, no, these are the activities, right? So planning the overall event, hosting meetings, syncing meetings, trying to get in touch with the local meetup organizers, also outlining the overall like event idea. I mean, we can shape it out how we would like it. So it matters like what the feedback is from the local meetup organizers and so on. So if you would like to help with this types of activities, you would be very welcome. So we are looking for anyone who would like to support. Right. And then for the local meetup organizers, typically like it's finding speakers, sponsors, and a venue, time, and maybe also having like some organizers who can help you out. So you're not all on your own, but maybe have like some people to rely on. And then just staying in touch with the global organizers so you can leverage all the resources and be part of this event, taking photos, things like this. Right. So if you would like, we are right at the beginning of organizing this. So there's not already like a procedure to kind of get in touch, but we have one tracking issue on GitHub. We can also link it in a second. And you can just mention that you're interested. And then hopefully we will find some leads. I think Alessandro and Ima are interested also in helping out with the global organization or leading this part. So defining like a timeline and a date of the event is probably one of the first like things that we need to do. Right. On organize opportunities. Right. So last year, like one thing, not everybody was organizing an event, but sometimes they also facilitated or helped out. This is also like one of the common things. So for example, if you know somebody who is an expert and who could be like a very good person to write a blog post, which we schedule at during the Cloud Native Sustainability Week, and then the blog post gets quite a bit of attention because it happens during that week. Like these facilitating roles can also be like super helpful. So whatever capacity you would like to contribute would be very appreciated. Right. So last year we created a couple of guides and also resources. So as I said before, there's our website, and on the website we have let me actually just, so if you go to this website and then events, Cloud Native Sustainability Week, and if you scroll down, you basically see a lot of like information about the event, also with further links. So these are all the events that happened last year. Not all of them were like during the second week of October, but most of them. We try to, I mean, this is probably also like a reason why if we start as early as possible, and if people know beforehand, okay, this event happened last year and it was a big success, then they commit also to that date. So I think we can also improve on this a little bit more, but I think it was overall like a great success. So if you would like to check it out, this was kind of the event last year. We can change it, of course, as I mentioned. Then we also wrote a blog post. Let me see. So on the blog, Cloud Native Sustainability Week, which is kind of the same gist, but it's a little bit more detailed, gives it also a little bit more information. Oh, there's an image missing. A little bit more information about the survey, which we did. So the survey was quite minimal. I think perhaps if we want to do another survey, we can also extend it a little bit more. Maybe maybe work with LF Research to refine it. Right, but that's kind of the intro to the event. So this is basically just a kickoff, and not a lot of stuff happened yet. I mean, also KubeCon is in 3 weeks, so everybody is hyped about that. But shortly after, we will start the planning. So if you would like to be part of this, if you would like to help out in any capacity, would be great. And now I think there's a good time. Or are there more slides? No, that's just then again the link to our socials. So are there any questions? Or Christina, would you like to mention something first? Anything? Or anything I
No,
missed?
I think you covered it in a very efficient manner. I think we will also share the slides afterwards, and I added like a few links in the chat. So we have created quite some material, like to get even more details about this, and then yeah, we will also be like available, the organizers of the previous events as well, to support those that will organize for the first time this year. I'm sure. So it would be great to get more hands on it to make it even bigger.
Yeah.
I think there was a question in the chat that I think we know the answer to from Alessandro regarding why not organize a one-day round-the-clock virtual-only event with CFB and all, like a KCD sustainability.
Yeah, like we do for Cilium and Istio. They tend to have once a year or twice a year. It's quite simple to organize. You need a platform, Pavy, StreamYard, organizing, of course, the agenda, contacting the speakers. It is not a lot of effort. It is some effort. It would be great to have, like, in that week, one day dedicated to fully virtual events. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. We had this year or last event, the virtual like mini conference, but it was just like a 3-hour. Yeah, I mean we had speakers and everything, so it has like I think the aspects of a virtual mini conference, but we could extend it perhaps. That could be good. I think we should not like leave out the in-person meetups, because I think the in-person meetups were specifically like a big success. But this can be
as
a replacement of the virtual event. Yeah, definitely. Why not? I mean,
as a complement, right? So that's the output of the effort, right? Of this motion called Sustainability Week. We have local meetups, so the communities get together. We did in Amsterdam, it was amazing, and we had more speakers than we could accommodate. But there's also people that cannot travel; they live far from one. I mean, there are many communities around the world, but not everybody lives close by one of those, right? So there are so many places, communities that are dormant or not very active.
yeah,
And it is early enough, of course, we can encourage local communities to, get out of sleep and organize specifically for this. But there could be potentially a lot. I suppose if we open a call for paper about this topic, we can ask. It's like a KCD, right? So I mean, Christina organized a KCD. There's many people here that know this process, right? You get a call for paper open, you post it on CNCF is going to repost it. You're going to get a lot of very interesting talks. Then it's just a matter of selecting them, get a couple, 2 or 3 hosts during the. We can start with 8 hours, or around the clock is a bit intense because you need hosts that can span the old time zones. But ideally, it's not really difficult to organize. Plus, it encourage people. So, for example, we had too many speakers, right, in Amsterdam. We could direct some of them to the virtual event, right? So we could direct them to call for papers.
We have considered it for the last year's event as well, but it was the first time, so we were very unsure regarding the capacity and everything, and we had to do the minimal effort, I think, to begin with, to see how many it will reach. But I think with the amount of interested folks we got from the last year's event, if we get enough involved organizers to help out here and contributors, then I think that could be really great to make something like that.
And I think we should start very soon with like a call for participation. It's not a call for paper, like a sign up form for local events, so we can really because once we have this link, we can hey, just go to this link and sign up, right? So it's a kind of a marketing tool or some communication tool we can use to reach out and print the QR code and use it on our presentation. I mean, we're all public speakers here, so also use this to promote it. I have 3 meetups next week in Amsterdam, and I would like to already, show the interest, show the plan, and I think it could be a success. Time frame wise, I think we can squeeze it. It was October last year, and I think it's perfect. It was just before KubeCon North America, and far away enough from other events. I think it's great. I know that within this KCD community, Audra suggested not to schedule another KCD in September because it's pretty busy. So I guess October could be, or was it? I mean, we need to be sure that we are not too close to the major KCDs that happen after summer break.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking in the first meeting today also about just sending to the organizers of last year and everybody who would like to do it this year, just like a form or whatever, just where you can click box and then say which week does not fit and for which reason. Maybe this can also be helpful, but I think I agree. I mean, at the end, that was also the reason last year why we did it in October, because it's after Open Source Summit and before KubeCon, and there were not a KCD in this week, so probably there's not like 1 week where you don't kind of hit like any national holiday. So I think last year there was like vacation period in China. So I think for most countries it was fine. For China it was a little bit difficult. So we also postponed the event in China for a couple of weeks because of this. But yeah, we will see.
Yeah. One thing maybe, I mean, we should be inclusive, right? So if you cannot organize a meetup in person exactly that week, and you can do it around that date, you should still be part of it, right? So it should be counted as a sustainability week, even if it's not exactly in that time frame. Otherwise, it's very narrow. 1 week is not always.
Yeah. So that's what we did last year. So the reason why we kind of push for 1 week is if you spread the horizon more and more. I mean, if you stick to 1 day, people will say, I cannot join this day. If you say 1 week, people will say not 1 week does not fit. If you say 1 month, it's also challenging for some. So, and also if you kind of, I think it's like kind of like a sweet spot between, if you spread it for entire month, people will lose track. It does not have like the same impact. So we are trying to push as much as possible for 1 week, but at the end, we don't want to obviously hinder people on organizing an event which benefits the community, right? So we try our best to get an event published or scheduled in a week. If it's not possible by very good reasons, then we also support like doing it later. Maybe a little bit before would not be not so nice, because then, I mean, the kickstart of the event is kind of weird, but yeah. I mean, it's a community event, so I think if most people feel like we should be very restrictive about the week or not, I mean, we can change it however we like. I think like pushing for the week makes sense, but we don't need to be too strict about it.
Never thought about accepting. I have no idea. I'm just putting it out there. Accepting sponsor for the global events. I mean, if, let's say there's this live stream of a day or more than a day. Do you ever thought about maybe accepting sponsorship to cover the cost? I don't know how does it work. I mean, I know that if I was, of course, we accept sponsors for local meetups, like companies that offer their office space or pay for the pizza. But I don't know how that could work for the global events. Maybe pay for StreamYard or Baby. These are usually free or covered by CNCF.
Yeah. So Bevi, for example, is already sponsors from the CNCF. We already have like accounts for this stuff. So last year we did not kind of expanded the virtual event too much because, as Christina said, the idea was, okay, the focus is first of all on the local events. And second of all, we kind of do this for the first time. So we want to do it right and don't like organize in a virtual event and at the end it kind of falls apart a little bit. So keep it simple. But I think this year we can expand on it. So we can, I don't know, turn it to an 8-hour event as you suggested, for example. I think that's an interesting idea. And maybe also, I don't know if we need sponsorship. I don't know if we need sponsorship, to be honest, because the platform is already sponsored. So the only reason, I don't know, what would be the reason we need sponsorship?
No, I know, for example, I mean, even the virtual events within the Istio community, they have sponsor, but of course, these are the usual suspects sponsoring every Istio event, right? So that's for sustainability is a bit more agnostic. So yeah, maybe it's a good idea not to accept sponsorship, but or talk to CNCF and see what they think about it.
All right. What about everybody else? Is there something you would like to, I don't know, discuss about the event? Are you interested in helping out, organizing, or I don't know, are just interested from the community just to hear about this?
Yes, we are interested in helping, as I said on Slack earlier this afternoon, I think. But what can we reasonably expect would be, say, the effort that is necessary to pull this off for a global organizer? Do you have any idea from like based on your experience of last year?
So for organizing the global event, you mean, or for the local?
Yeah.
For the global events, so I think these kinds of events always take a little bit, quite a bit of effort because you need to talk a lot to people, you need to communicate a lot. So in the last year we had every 2 weeks or so a meeting, 30 minutes or so to discuss the progress. We had a couple of issues and then kind of distributed the issues between, I think, 4 or 5 people or so. And then the work is manageable. So if you do it all on your own, it's a little bit much. But if we distribute it on different shoulders, I think it's manageable. It depends a little bit like this year. So in the first meeting today, there was also the idea of having like a hackathon, for example, to have like more the spotlight also on certain projects. So I don't know, hackathon about Kepler, for example. So if we do something additional on top of this then obviously requires another load, or it's a little bit different, so it's a little bit more work. If we keep it closely to the scope that we have last year, I think it's kind of manageable. It definitely helps for like local meetups if you already have like a contacts in the community. So you can just reach out maybe to, I don't know, a couple of companies who are known for helping out with like a venue, for example. And the same thing also goes for the global team. So if you know maybe from KubeCon or some events, ambassadors or any type of people from the community who are kind of active and are kind of the persons to organize these events, this helps a lot, just moving this along.
Well, Alessandro is basically is I think one of the organizers in the area where we are. So we might also do something in Utrecht, Alessandro, but I think we can talk about it outside of this meeting. My colleague who I want to ask to help out with this is on maternity leave, so she'll be back in a couple of weeks. So do I understand correctly that you want to start meeting after KubeCon?
Yeah, sometime after KubeCon. So before KubeCon, I don't think it makes much sense. But sometime after KubeCon. And then I think one of the first things that we need to discuss is also what Alessandro said, that we kind of like a point of contact. So are you interested in participating? How can you participate? And just to get into a loop and to leave feedback. And then we need to be a little bit more specific about the timeline and the just overall like action items. So who's kind of speaking with the CNCF about the social media stuff. All of this, like if you break it down, it does not take too much time, but if you sum it up and all the communication around it it's not nothing. So it takes in total a lot of time. So yeah.
And probably the week in October itself is pretty busy. A couple of weeks, like the week before and the week itself. I guess.
Yeah. I think October.
Maybe Jürgen, we can also think of okay, so we can just this for Amsterdam or Utrecht. Actually, Utrecht is even better. We can prepare everything, and then when we have the date, we nail it down and we organize it. And even I think because we have so many speakers available and there is so much interest, maybe this year we can do a large meetup, like maybe a alpha day or even a full day meetup, all on celebrating cloud native. We have to gather local interest. I mean, I like to aim high and then see where we land, right? So, and we have so many people, William, Pavel, you guys, there's so much we can do. Maybe we can make the Netherlands the best place for environmental sustainability, right?
Yeah. So I will sign myself up through GitHub, and I will be the placeholder for my colleague when she's back. It's Julie, by the way, Alessandro, you know her. So, and I would like to help on the with organizing the global event.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Apart from helping you, Alessandro,
it's a great idea.
But of course, like we're cool in the Netherlands, but we also want to be the 12 other countries and cities. So we would like to be, if we do so much and we have so many volunteers, we would like also to export or be there for other other countries, other cities that want to organize something similar. So gather the learnings, write down how to run a meetup, how to run longer meetup, that kind of thing, and be there for everybody else who wants to organize an event within the Sustainability Week.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if we can make it happen that we have an event maybe also in Africa this year. So this was like one big part of the world where we did not have like a single meetup. And
I know some organizers.
And also in the US, actually.
Sorry, just to bump in. I know quite a lot of people in South Africa that we could potentially do.
Yeah. I mean, that would be super awesome. So also last year we talked to a couple of people, but everything, I mean, if you do it for the first time, there's like a bunch of things that you need to figure out. a lot of resources you need to create. And then also, as I mentioned, there's a little bit uncertainty for people. Is this event really happening, or is this like really big, or is this like worth it to put in the effort? So I think we have a little bit more credibility, so people kind of see the success of last year, and we will make it bigger this year, that they will also hopefully participate and show up.
Hey, Leo, does the tag have a booth in Paris?
Yes. We have one.
You got stickers, you got, I mean, so if we have the data,
No,
maybe
we don't
can
have
actually gather
stickers. I have a
interest.
couple of
Yeah.
custom printed stickers. Of course.
Let's make some stickers.
No, I think there are like stickers at like the sticker wall. We have a booth. We can also use the booth for like informal meetups. We can talk, of course, about anything, including the Cloud Native Sustainability Week.
Is there a Excel sheet or like a people can sign up to man the booth? Do you have something like that?
We have an issue open for that. not a sheet just yet, but I think Claire, there's a meeting tomorrow. Working group comms is kind of on it, so
Okay,
it's soon.
okay. Perfect.
But the booth is just like in the morning, so we have it. We opted in for halftime or part-time booth or whatever, just to give also people room to explore the venue and so on.
And then they changed the banner. They put some other tags or something. I think they shared booths between
yeah,
projects.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, this year is also the first time we have a booth. So the last times, like the tag is also growing in itself. So now we have more people also at the conference. So we have not just like 2 people who need to be at the booth at all times, but we can also move around a little bit. But coming back to the Cloud Native Sustainability Week, are there any more like ideas or topics you would like to, I don't know, discuss, bring up? Something that we should focus on this year?
Hello. Hi, Leo. I do have something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Last year it was fantastic. I mean the momentum of the week and the aftermath of the week was fantastic to see around all that happened, to participate to that 3 hours event Christina was mentioning was also great. What it was not so great is also should be acknowledged, I suppose, and enhanced, which was the how disconnected the countries or the local groups were. Like I didn't know anything about what was happening, I think in Munich or in Switzerland, and I would have want to, like I don't know, have a meeting with our friends that organize the meetup somewhere else, what they're doing. Can I copy something? Can I learn something from them? Can we, I don't know, bounce something off each other's at their meeting, and we do the same at our meeting. It's that was one. The other one was it's Sustainability Week, and I think in the Netherlands we organized two things or one thing, and no, I think one thing, and we had a lot of speakers, and Alessandro is absolutely right. We had more than we can. We had more bread than we could chew. So if it's Sustainability Week, why don't we push on the week factor? Why don't we try? I mean, not everywhere is possible, absolutely. Not everywhere everybody has time, but why don't we try to push multiple events happening in one country? I know we want to get the whole day meetup, fantastic, the whole day event, but that economically might be very heavy. Online, not of course, but in person, I think economically can be challenging. We do need to find sponsors. We do need to find venue. In some countries, an example like the Netherlands, sustainability is a big deal. So there are going to be a lot of people coming around. So why not doing something like a wandering meeting in cities like I hear Utrecht from Jurg, Amsterdam, all the way up to the north in a place in the Netherlands that is affected very much by sustainability, which is Groningen, and all the way in the south. I mean, bring sustainability to people rather than get one event, come to me, and I'll be there. I don't know. I think maybe it should be something a little bit more dynamic. I would like to see this year. Not being negative, just trying to put some more things on the table that we could do better.
Yeah. So I think also the communities are a little bit different. So for some, I mean, just having an event, because sustainability in Europe is big deal. In some other countries, it's not that big of a deal. They're struggling with other issues first, kind of. So I think having like an event is already like a big success. But maybe for Amsterdam or like Netherlands and some other countries, it would be worth, obviously, to also take the next step to kind of bring it further and not just have an event, but also connecting events. So I like the idea of traveling around locations. I mean, this can definitely be like a strategy. We can also try out different formats. So if, I don't know, people in Berlin or whatever would also like to kind of enhance their meetup, but have like a different idea, we can also just test it out. About the like connecting meetups, I think you definitely have like a point, which we need to think about, like how we can improve it, because it's not that easy, I guess. But we should improve it, because there were a lot of interesting discussions happening all over the place, but connecting those discussions and learning from it is not that easy. And
Yeah, absolutely. I also don't know, Leo, how that will look connecting the meetups, but I think that we have a lot of potential and we are all very I think one way or another we're all very creative. So I think that if we start connecting, we see those connection points and ideas just pop up, and hey, let's do this, let's try out this, and instead of just looking around your own corners. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, these are some great reflections, William. I just want to point out that. So thanks for sharing that. Regarding your first point, I felt I could really relate to that one. Like, how can, for example, local meetup organizers be gathered together and share maybe ideas and get, I don't know, inspired from each other and help each other. In the last year, we tried to have some meetings to support local meetup organizers. But I think in terms of capacity and in terms of finding a suitable time for everyone, this has been a challenge. But if there is more interest, for example, for this year, we could still do something like that, have some kind of a forum that can happen until the event date, like not every week necessarily, but maybe once a month or bi-weekly, or how a community would feel most about it. We could still make something like this at least happen for some time, where those who are organizing local meetups can join and just share ideas with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
so last year we also had a survey for participants, but also for the organizers. So the survey was kind of minimal, so there were not a lot of questions. We now worked with the CNCF on creating like a new survey. Maybe you also saw it, which has like, I think, I don't know, 20 questions or so. about sustainability. So the survey last year was, so one reason was just to kind of get feedback, and also what are like getting like some key metrics or whatever from those people. So are you considering sustainability? So some very basic questions. So this was like our sort of attempt to get a little bit of knowledge from those meetups, and also sharing this afterwards. But yeah, I mean, surveys are always like kind of a problem. You don't like to fill it out, but they're quite useful. But maybe there's like some other ways to connect ideas. I don't know. We need to think about it, but we have enough time, hopefully. It's still February, so we will figure it out, get better at it. But good feedback. Thanks, William.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else you would like to discuss? Okay. Then I think we can call it for this meeting. So we have the tag meeting in 10 minutes. So if you would like to join that one, feel free. And hope to see you all soon, maybe even in Paris if you are around. We have a maintainer talk, Christina and Antonio are giving a talk about it. There's also a panel discussion. There's a hackathon about sustainability, a bunch of additional talks talking about energy and sustainability things. There are also 2 keynotes about sustainability at KubeCon, so a lot of sustainability. So talk to you all soon. If you're interested, check out the issue. And bye-bye.
This is the year we're gonna make the world greener.
Yeah.